So, not too long ago, my I guess my wife's grandfather, he passed away, and somehow I ended up with this, which for most of you that don't know, I guess it's a straight razor, and you use it to shave. And what I did was I tried shaving with it, and it obviously had some nicks in it, and so I tried sharpening it, and I probably can get it really sharp if I really worked at it, but I haven't tried too much. But while I was trying, my brother-in-law, who's in the Air Force and has to shave every day, he told me about safety razors, which is what this is. And he told me that he really enjoys shaving with a safety razor. And so I looked up on Amazon for safety razors, and I found one. It was probably $15 or so. And then I looked for blades, and I did a little bit of research for the blades and found that the blade quality really matters for how well a straight razor or a safety razor works. And so I did a little research on at least what I did was I looked at Amazon and looking through the reviews, and I saw I picked a bunch of straight razors that had good reviews, and I tried shaving with this and I was pleasantly surprised. In the past, what I've used was the Gillet Mach 3, and to be honest, I did enjoy shaving with the Gillet Mach 3. The thing I didn't enjoy was all the how much it cost to buy a new blade. And so what that did was it forced me to buy or to not buy replacement blades as often as I probably should have. So essentially, I would be shaving, and it'd be pulling my hair, and it hurts a little. And I just kept shaving like that because it was cheaper than buy, because I didn't have the money to buy more replacement blades. So today what I decided to do for this is to show you guys kind of the economics of shaving, or what does it really cost with the different options, so you can make a decision, and I can show you what I've decided. Obviously, I really like using these straight razors, or these safety razors. Someday I would like to, just for the manhood kind of thing, I'd like to be using this straight razor, or at least one like it, if not this one, just because I think it's cool. But for the easiness of it, this safety razor really works well. So let's kind of start talking about the economics of shaving, if you would. If you look at this picture of the Gillet Mach 3 I have here, so this is the first part of the economics is, and so what I did was I picked a razor, and I didn't pick a lot of razors to do this with, but maybe some of the more important ones. The first, I guess, benchmark is the Mach 3, just because I've shaved with it for years, and I knew it was a quality razor, right? So some of you might have shaved with really cheap razors, like I have shaved with really cheap razors, and they have a lot to be desired, right? I mean, I've never had a cheap razor that was really good, as far as it was comfortable to shave with. It's all, it was always pulling my hair first time. Now, obviously, Gillette is not the only game in town. Schick is, another big razor brand, and I've actually, in my professional endeavors, I have worked with Schick for to work on a certain product, an innovative product that never really happened. And as a response, while I was working on that, they gave me a couple of their 5-bladed Gillet razors to try out, and the ones I got were not very good. Again, they felt like they were dull and brand new. They were dull, and they felt like they were pulling my hair. I don't know. And I don't want to throw Schick under the bus. It could have been that I got a bad razor for that one, and if I would have, there's a high possibility that I could have bought another one and it would have been okay. Yeah, I just happened to get a bad one. But anyways, because of that experience, I never tried Schick again, and I just kept doing the Gillet Mach 3s. But anyways, the way that this, if you look at this picture, what I did was, I went on to Walmart.com and found how much it costs to buy a handle or a full razor, and then how much it costs to buy replacement blades, and then I broke it down into essentially 4 categories, or you can say 2 categories broken in each of those are broken into 2 categories. So you have people that shave every day and the people that shave once a week. Obviously, some people might shave every other day, but this helps to compare. And I didn't want to do millions of comparisons. So let's say you shave every day, you have some money, and after you shave for 5 days, or the week, I'm going to say a week is 5 days. So let's say you shave for 5 days, and after that 5 days, you replace the blade. It's getting usually they get a little bit dull after that, and so that's about the time where it's a good time to replace if you want to always have a great shave. So that's the first category. You shave every day and you replace it after 5 shaves, or you replace it once a week. The next one is you replace it after 10 shaves. You still shave every day. And then the other 2. So when I was in the military, I shaved every day, but maybe a little bit after I got out, I kind of thought about it and realized, why am I shaving every day? I don't want to, and I don't need to. So I stopped shaving for a little bit, and then my wife gets upset with me, and so we made a compromise, and I shave once a week. So the once a week is really what I do. And then again, I broke that down to you shave once a week, and after 5 shaves, you replace the blade, and the other one is after 10 shaves, you replace the blade. You're trying to stretch your blade as much as possible, and to get the most money out of it. And so after I broke that down, I figured out how much it would cost for a year for each of those categories, and then carried that out to 5 years. One of the things that I have to do with this is that, so I'm assuming that I'm only buying the handle once, and then after that I'm buying the replacements. I'm only buying the replacements. And it's also, I'm not factoring in shaving cream, which I found that cheap shaving cream works just as good as expensive shaving cream. So none of this has anything to do with shaving cream. So looking at the Gillette one, you find out that it costs, if you shave every day, after 5 years, and you replace it after 5 shaves, you're spending $500 after 5 years. You're about $100 a year. And then obviously you're going to just about do that in half, because if you replace every 10 shaves, that means you're shaving half as much, so your cost is going to drop about in half, and so forth. And so, from the top end, you got $500 a year, or $500 after 5 years you've spent shaving with just blades and your shaving handle. And then if you do it to the lowest one, if you're really pushing it, and you're replacing after 10 shaves and you're only shaving once a week, after 5 years you spent $68, right? Big difference. And that's, trying to save. That's what the difference you can do. So I looked at another one, which I guess didn't really show a lot of difference, and that's the Gillet Fusion. It's the newer one than the Gillet Mach 3, and there's a little bit of difference. If you look at, year 5 for the top end, you're at 678, whereas with the Gillet Mach 3, you're only at 518, so you're up almost $160. And then, but at the lower end, you're only above it by like $20. But I would say not much difference. Maybe a little bit more to get those extra 2 blades in cost. And you look at the reason the replacement blades for the Gillet Fusion is $2.63, while as the Gillet Mach 3 was still just $2. Now another one I looked at was this Dollar Shave Club, which I haven't tried. I just looked online, and people seem to be happy with it. Obviously, otherwise they would stop doing it. They do tout that it's the cheapest way to go. I found that it looks like it's just about the same. You replace. So at first I thought, when I was just looking at it, it looked like you only had one option, which is you pay the $9 a month and you get 4 blades. And so with that, I came up with a replacement blade is about $2.25. And it's actually interesting the way that their initial policy is essentially they're saying you're kind of following my top, where every day you shave and you replace after 5 shaves. That's kind of the model that they're pushing. And so after 5 years, you're going to give them $545. However, and so I wanted to stop there, but then I did a little more researching, and people would say, well, I don't shave that much, and they say that you can first of all, you can schedule to receive about a third, the replacement blade is about a third less, and of course you would, so like instead of receiving 4 blades every month, you can receive 4 blades every 3 months. And on top of that, you can quit the club, or you can stop your subscription and then restart it as much as you want. So you could, pay for a year's worth of blades and then stop for however long until you actually use all those blades. So the only way, so you can essentially follow all these categories, just like you're going to Walmart and buying blades, but they're just shipping them to you, and you'd pay the same amount. You just have to, I don't know if that might be more hassle or less hassle, depending on how you look at it. You'd have to decide that yourself. But here's the results, and I found it, because the replacement blade is 25 cents more than the Gillet Mach 3. The razor, the handle itself is maybe a little cheaper, but over the course of a long time, the replacement blades are really the cost. That's where all your cost comes with these 3 options, these first 3 options. And it follows what I know about marketing and about product development. That most companies, what they want, the goal is you buy, or they sell you something, and then they want to sell you a refill of some kind. And even though, and the idea is that if you're invested in the one thing, you'll keep buying their refills, right? So you feel like you have to stick with that brand. So if I buy a Mach 3 handle, even though it's only $5 or so, or $10, or I think I show here $8, I spent $8 on the handle. Now I feel like I'm invested with that, and so I'll keep buying the blades over and over again, right? And they do that with other products. I mean, that's their goal. So because of that, it really shows up that the initial investment doesn't really matter in the long run. You're really buying the replacements. So after I show you those 3, the next one is the safety razor, and I show, this one picture shows that Gillette actually came up with a safety razor. I don't know, I'll have to research that, but I know they're early on, they have their own safety razor. They might have been the first ones. I don't know. I didn't research that. But here's a picture of an older one. So what I did again, I go to the one that I've been using from Amazon. I looked on Amazon. It was about $30. It had a lot of good reviews, and I've been very happy with it. And so I put my razor cost at $30, and then I looked up. And then this shows you Astra, Supreme, Platinum. Anyways, those are the exact blades that I bought. And what's interesting is that I know that this experience told me that the blade quality really matters. When my first safety razor was not $30, it was like $10, and it came with. And the reason I had to replace it was because it broke. I broke it. So I bought a more expensive one. But it came with a blade, and so I put that, the one that came with I put it on it, and I started, I shaved it with the first time, and I was not happy with it. It was pulling, felt like it was dull, and I was kind of like, man, I just wasted all this money. But I bought a box of 100 of these Astra Superior Platinum blades. And so I said, well, before I give up, I'm going to try one of these as well. And so when I switched it to those blades, it was a world of difference. So much so that, when I was shaving once a week, and because of that, my hair would grow out a little bit longer, obviously, than if I just shaved once a day. And so when I was shaving with my Gillet Mach 3, I actually had to shave twice, right? So I'd shave once, it would get most of it, and then I'd have to essentially re-lather up and shave again to get it a clean shave. When I used the safety razor with one blade, it was clean. I didn't have to do that. It was a one time, a week's worth of growth. It would cut right through it. It would cut through it. It was clean. And so anyways, it was nice. It was a nice shave. Now, so anyways, I broke it down again, and with the safety razor, your initial cost is really high, but your replacement blade cost is really low. So you start out, even though the other ones, the nicer, the newer type of razors, your handle cost is really low, less than $10. Your replacement blade cost is really high. So this one, with the safety razor, you start out with, and I put 30. You can do less than that. You can do more. You can do $100 for these things. But I found that $30 is a really high quality shave. And then again, the blade cost, that's for the pack of this high quality pack that I got. It was $10 for 100 blades, which is why it's 5 cents. Oh, and it's $10 for 100 blades, but each blade has 2 blades on it, right? And they're not together, they're on opposite ends, which means that you can use one side and then you can use the other side. So in essence, you're getting 200 blades for $10, which comes out to 5 cents per blade. And so there you go. And so because of that, it turns out that your cost between how often you shave is very small. And, there's a big difference between, what was I showing you the other ones? If you're shaving every day and you replace after 5 shaves, they're in the over $500, over $600. And here you show that you're only spending $42 with the safety razor. And you're getting, in my opinion, either exactly the same quality of shave or a better shave with the safety razor. So that's a lot of money. Now another thing with safety razors is that I think they are, if you buy a good one, they are heirloomable, or they, it's something you can pass down to your kids. Or you can have, your kids can go, or your wife, you can go on Amazon, you can look for really nice ones, put it in your wish list, And for a Christmas present or for a birthday present, they can buy it for you, right? Buy you a nice one. And it's kind of a cool, nice gift. So there are a lot of advantages to safety razors. I found that they're the best choice. You don't have to, there's no maintenance, right? After I use one, I'll just make sure it's clean and dry, or not really dry. I'll just kind of blow it out, just to make sure the blade doesn't rust out. But I replace the blade about every 5 shaves. No, that's not true. Yeah. For each edge, maybe it's about every 4. So I use that one edge 4 times, and then I throw it. But anyway, so this shows you. So I would be, in the 30. This, according to this, after 5 years, I've spent the cost of my handle plus about $2, $3, not even through that packet yet. It takes you about 10 years to go through your initial purchase, right? Because I buy the razors for $10, 100 or 200 blades for $10, and then I'd spend them, and then I buy the razor the razor itself, and after that I don't have to buy anything for 10 years at my rate of usage. You could probably go through that if you shave every day and you replace pretty frequently. You might do that in 5 years, but come on. And then after that, again, your initial cost is the highest one, and so you've already bought that. So you can buy. So then your follow-up cost doesn't really matter how much you use it. It's pennies. Literally, it's 5 cents. But of course, let's look at the even cheaper, or the next pretty cool option. Because people might say, well, what about the straight razor? And again, this is pretty simple, right? I had to put something out, that you buy the razor, you don't have to buy replacement blades. Now you can buy straight razors with replacement blades. The reason I didn't put them here is because that's kind of the same as a safety razor. This is the same. Put them in that category. But here you buy a straight razor where you sharpen it, and so you obviously have to have nice sharpening equipment. And I put $50 for the sharpening equipment. That's a guess. Some of the stuff I bought, it's probably you could spend a lot more than that. You could spend a little bit less than that. And the razor, again, this one's wildly $30. I found some highly reviewed ones on Amazon for $30. There's also ones that are cheaper but they don't have as good of reviews, and there's ones that are way more expensive. So it's kind of up to you. But after you bought those 2 things, you don't buy anything else as far as blades and razors, right? You're done with your purchase, and it never changes. I like these because they're cool, and you don't have to. Economically, it's pretty cool that you don't have to buy anything after your initial purchase. The problem I see with this is that they're labor intensive in that you have to sharpen them a lot, or you have to sharpen them at all. How's that? You have to sharpen them, and you can't just, once they get dull, you can't just chunk it and put a new one on. But to some people that doesn't matter. Others, that's a drawback. It's up to you to decide if that's for you or not. But that's the economics of it. You do your initial purchase, and then you never have to buy anything again. Whereas those new fancy ones, you go, like the Mach 3 and the Fusion and any of the Schicks, you have to keep buying, right? That's the model. You keep buying over and over again. So a friend of mine, I was telling him about this, and he's like, "Oh, well, there's no way that a straight razor can beat, or a safety razor can beat disposable razors." Because, and I was like, "Well, yeah, but it's not the same comparison. It's apples and oranges, right? Because a straight razor or a safety razor with a fresh blade, or even, used only a couple of times, is still a really nice shave, whereas a disposable razor is not a nice shave at all. However, he says, no, I only use disposable razors, and they're just fine. Of course, he has a beard, and he rarely shaves it, so there's that anecdote. There's that to say about it. Like, yeah, you love it so much, you hardly ever shave. But maybe, so I put this up there because there could be people out there that use disposable razors, and it's just fine with them. And so here's kind of what it lays out for them. Those ones, like, because those ones you don't have to, you just buy the whole thing, right? You buy it, you use it until it's dull, and then you chunk it, you throw it away, and you use the next one. You don't have a handle to match, so that the handle doesn't. It's just how many razors it is and how often you replace them, and that's how much it costs. And this is the cheapest one. Obviously, there's other ones that are more expensive, like $1 each. That would obviously change the economics. But if you have the absolute cheapest razor, and it's okay with you to do that, you can get away, and it'll be cheaper than the safety razor. Of course, that's out to year 5. I think I looked at it, and it was, you start breaking even. Well, this shows you if you shave every day and you replace 5 times, you break even in 5 years. So every single one of those categories, you're going to go out to a time, and then you'll break even, right? So 5 years is if you shave every day and you replace after 5 shaves. For the 10 shaves once a week, replace after 10 shaves once a week, it might be 15, 20 years. But again, there's going to be a point where you're breaking even, where the either using a safety razor or a disposable razor, it'll break even. They'll be the same amount. It'll cost the same amount of money after a certain amount of years. And the nice thing about a straight razor, or a safety razor, is that after that time, first of all, up until that time, you're shaving with a nicer product that is more enjoyable, and then after that time, you're saving money, and you're still shaving with a nice product that's enjoyable, that's better than a disposable razor. So there you go. I would never shave with it. I have shaved with disposable razors. I don't like them, but I guess there are people that do. Obviously, they wouldn't sell. So there you have it. I love my disposable razor, I love my safety razor. I love the idea. I love that it's so cheap, and it makes so much sense to me. I think it's cooler. It's more nostalgic. It's more vintage, and it just worked better. So thanks for taking the time to listen to me rant about razors, and thanks for watching.